Alright guys, the Iceman here on the Jeffrey Rose YouTube channel, and what a night it was on TNA Impact Wrestling. There was a lot of surprises there. Um, Again, another week of another great Impact Wrestling, in my opinion. Um, the show started off with Dixie Carter coming out, and she really, she was like really definitely a heel type Dixie. I mean, she was saying that TNA did not need Hulk Hogan. He took away their character. She also said they didn't need the likes of the Vinces of the world, the Stephanie Levesques, the loser Eric Bischoff, and the Jarretts. Uh, she was getting booed by all the fans here, but she kept on going on, and she had told Bully Ray that he could put together tonight a match with AJ Styles, and he could put all the details together. So he was in control of what kind of match AJ Styles was going to have. Well, this brought out Sting. Sting was upset, going, AJ, I mean, Dixie, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know, what are you trying to do? And she laid into Sting as well. She told him, she goes, you're the guy who brought in Hulk Hogan. She goes, now that wasn't a very good decision, was it? And then she said to him, she goes, and you took it upon yourself to make yourself a match at Bound for Glory with Magnus? She goes, how dare you? This is my company. So Dixie was, I mean, the greatest heel of last night. I mean, she was continually getting booed. And before her segment was over, she told Sting that he and Magnus would have a match with Bad Influence. And if either one of them were pinned or got beaten, that there would be no match between Sting and Magnus at Bound for Glory. I mean, Dixie just gave it right to him. I mean, this was great. I mean, I loved every minute of this segment. I thought it was just superb. I mean, it couldn't get any better than that. It was totally great. Then we saw an AJ segment backstage saying it was nice not to come into the building and be chased down by security, and he really wasn't worried about what Bully Ray was going to do to him. And he said that eventually Dixie Carter will pay after he wins the World Heavyweight Championship at Bound for Glory. So great opening segments of TNA Impact Wrestling. Excuse me. All right, we had a X Division type match with Austin Aries going up against Jeff Hardy. Um, this match was an excellent match. This match went back and forth. I mean, these two guys match up so well together in the ring. They have so much chemistry together that this is a pair of superstars in TNA that, you know, anytime they get into the ring together, you're going to see greatness. And we saw that last night. And there was moments that either man could have won this match, but it wasn't until Jeff Hardy was on the top ring rope and Austin Aries went up and gave him a super brainbuster down to the ring mat and got the pin 1, 2, 3. And after the pin was over, we heard Samoa Joe's music come out, and Joe stated he involved himself in the Ultimate X Division match at Bound for Glory, saying he was going to also be involved with Manic, Chris Sabin, Austin Aries, Jeff Hardy, and now Samoa Joe. This match at Bound for Glory, look for it to be great. I mean, to me, it's going to be a great match. Okay. We also saw Jesse with Robbie E. Basically, Robbie E. was taunting Jesse about ODB from the week before, and Jesse said, I'll take care of this. And, you know, they went out to the ring, and it was Jesse and Robbie E. And ODB came out with Eric Young, and the match began. And, I mean, this is one of those matches that you really don't care about. I mean, they could have found another better way for ODB to be on TV if they wanted her on TV. But anyway, it got to the point where ODB was doing quite well for herself, and all of a sudden Lady Tappa came into the ring, and she totally destroyed ODB. This woman is a beast from OVW. She is totally a beast, and she's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Knockouts division in TNA. So ODB ended up winning by disqualification, but not until after she got beaten and battered by Lady Tappa. That was pretty awesome. So Bully Ray then gets confronted by Nux and Bischoff. They're saying that he's ruining their club, and Bully Ray is turning the tables on them, saying, if it weren't for me, and we need to band together, and we need to protect this World Heavyweight Championship belt and keep it within the club. So Bully Ray basically told Nux and Bischoff that they were going to fight AJ Styles tonight, and it was up to them to take AJ out. And all seemed to be well after that. So, Aces and Eights looks like they're still intact at this point in time. So we'll just have to wait and see about that. Then we saw Sting talk to Magnus in the locker room, and Magnus is basically saying, yeah, I did needed a little kick in the butt, a little pat on the butt to get myself motivated, and I thank you, but, tonight we need to take care of business, but when it comes to Bound for Glory, he goes, it's going to be me against you, basically. So, that was a pretty good segment, and I do see a heel turn coming for Magnus in the near future, and it probably will happen at Bound for Glory. We also saw Daniels and Kazarian come out in their cheesy, colorful suits. I mean, these two guys, when they're together, I mean, they are fun to watch. They're very entertaining. They're just funny. They make comedy. They make light of everything. And they came out and they had a big throne there, and they were like praising Bobby Roode to the hill. And Kazarian did a little speech about Bobby Roode basically being the longest TNA World Heavyweight Champion in history and whatnot. And then they brought out Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode, with the tears in his eyes, he got up to the microphone and he was praising everything. And then he basically said, he deserved it. He actually deserved it. And Bobby Roode was going on, and all of a sudden we heard Kurt Angle's music hit, which totally caught me by surprise. Kurt Angle was back, and I was totally shocked. I didn't expect him to come back. I knew he was going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame at Bound for Glory, but Kurt Angle was back. And he came in and he suplexed the heck out of Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, and he chased down Bobby Roode, and he told Bobby Roode that at Bound for Glory, it's going to be him and Roode in a Bound for Glory match. And I was just totally shocked. I'm glad to see Kurt Angle back. He looked great. He's still in great shape, and it doesn't look like he lost a step whatsoever. Roode, getting all upset, ran back into the locker room saying, it wasn't you that made the match. He goes, it's me that's making the match. I'll see you at Bound for Glory. So that was a good segment. It was just great to see Kurt Angle come back after this long period of time. Next up, we had a Knockouts #1 contender match with Miss Tessmacher going up against Velvet Sky. She had tape around her midsection. She came out with Chris Sabin. This could have been a really good match. I mean, actually, they both did quite well in the ring. But it was sort of interesting because Chris Sabin and Velvet Sky really aren't on the same page. She's still a fan favorite. Chris is not. He's a heel. He was getting down on her for not getting, the pinfall on Tessmacher when she could have had the opportunity to. So he brought her over to his corner, and while he did that, Tessmacher came in, rolled up Velvet, and got the 1-2-3 pin. And of course, Velvet was, upset with what Sabin did, but more so, Sabin was blaming everything on Velvet Sky. So that was sort of interesting. I'm waiting to see how that develops later on down the road. All right. Up next, we had Sting and Magnus going up against Bad Influence, Kazarian and Daniels. And this match, as good as it can be, I'll tell you, Daniels and Kazarian are a great tag team when they tag team together. And of course, we all know how Sting and Magnus are. And this match was pretty good. And it got to the point where Magnus had the opportunity to pin Kazarian and he chose not to after he leaped off the rope and gave him like an elbow to the head. And he was like maybe showboating a little bit, but he wanted to do the English cloverleaf, and Sting is yelling at him, pin him, pin him, pin him, and he chose not to. So Sting made a blind tag into the match, ended up splashing Kazarian and whatnot and getting the pin. And after the match was over, Magnus was a little upset. And this is where you can see the signs of a heel turn going for Magnus. So uh, all in all, though, that was a a pretty good match overall. So anyway, then we have none other than the main event: AJ Styles versus Aces and Eights, Garrett Bischoff and Nux, with Brooke Texmacher and Bully Ray in their corner. Bully Ray gets Mike Tenay out of the announce table, and he takes over. And this actually wasn't a bad match. I mean, AJ was starting off and taking it to both of them, and then they started returning the favor on AJ. But again, the match went back and forth, and it looked like possibly Aces and Eights could end up winning this match. But in the end, it was sort of funny because Nuxie was stomping on AJ, Bischoff was holding him, and then Nux climbs up and dives off with a guillotine leg drop, but AJ rolls out of the way, and Nuxie nails Bischoff with the clothesline. And then AJ with the spinning heel kick kicks Nuxie in the head, knocks him out, ends up getting the pin. And it was great. I thought it was great. It was one of those TNAs that you had to like. I mean, there was no reason not to. It was a great show. And it just showed a lot for me on this night. This was one of the best TNAs I've seen in a long time. After that match with AJ, Bully Ray came in with the chain and started welting him with the chain across the back and across the legs. And you could see that he was making Nux and Bischoff stay in their corners. And you can see that they were getting a little upset over this. I think because Bully Ray sort of showed him up. So I still see some sort of departure of Nuxie and Bischoff from Aces and Eights somewhere down the road. It may happen at Bound for Glory. And what I'm wondering too possibly is maybe Nux and Bischoff maybe helping out AJ at Bound for Glory. That could very well happen as well. So, but all in all, TNA was a great show last night. And I mean, for anybody that watched it, you can't take that away from him. It was a great show from beginning to end. And I'm looking forward to next week. So that'll be the go-home show before Bound for Glory. So this is the Iceman on the Jeffrey Rose YouTube channel. Peace out, everybody. And if you didn't watch TNA, give it a shot. I know you'll enjoy it. See you guys all next time.